Do you want to know how to make chicken stock with 9 ingredients that tastes better, that looks better, that smells better, and is better for you? And it'll save you money? Stick with us, and we're going to show you how. I'm Derek.
And I'm Xander.
And today we're going to teach you how to make chicken stock the easiest way that we know how. It is the classic base for pretty much everything good in the kitchen, in my opinion. But in this video, we're going to show you how to use the bones from the chicken that we butchered in the last video and make what we call a roasted chicken stock or a brown chicken stock. If you stick around to the end of the video, we're going to have a recipe for this as well. So there'll be a recipe that you can screen grab or screenshot at the end. And as we work further into this, as we do more recipes together, we're going to start to create links to like Google Documents and stuff like that, that you'll be able to get a hold of these recipes for the long term. So we're going to use, again, 9 simple ingredients that you're going to find in every single store. And they're some of the most inexpensive. They're the cheapest. They're going to cost you the least amount. Some people grow them in their gardens, but we're going to pull stuff from the store today. And the 9 ingredients are going to be the chicken bones, the onions, carrots, celery. That is mirepoix. That is a French term for those 3 vegetables. Water, garlic, black peppercorns, bay leaves, and thyme. Now your thyme can be fresh or dry. We're going to use some fresh today because that's what we have in our refrigerator. Same with our bay leaves. So once we have the chicken bones from butchering down the chicken, again, butchering is taking apart the whole animal protein, which we did in the last video, using what knife?
A boning knife.
A boning knife.
Or a butcher's knife. And you might want to check the episode. Just remember your parts.
Yep. So we're going to take and throw those onto a sheet tray lined with aluminum foil. And we're going to put them into an oven at 400 degrees. And we're going to roast them for about a half hour to 45 minutes, maybe a little bit more. We want them to get nice and toasty and brown. We want to be able to smell them too, which is aromatic. And right now we've got that chicken roasting in the background too, so we can start to smell it. You can hear it crackling away. So as it browns up, that's caramelizing the fat on the chicken bones and creating mini layers of flavor. Brown is a flavor, so we're going to add brown to our culinary cram box or our palettes today. So we're going to take onions, carrots, and celery. We're going to rough chop those. We're going to take the root end off of the onion, but we're going to leave the peel on. That's going to add some extra flavor to the stock. It's going to help accentuate the brown in the stock too, and it's little to no waste in that point. It's going to be the same with the carrot. We're going to take the greens end off the top where there's a little bit of dirt. We're going to clean that up. We're going to leave the peels on, but we're going to rinse the carrot, and then we're going to chop that. Same with the celery. So we're going to take our roasted bones. We're going to drop those in the pot. We're going to take our carrot, celery, and onion. Then once you've got that in the pot, you're going to add everything else except for your water. So you're going to add your peppercorns, your bay leaf, your fresh thyme, and a head of garlic. Now, as long as the root end of your garlic head is clean, you're just going to cut that thing right in half and chuck it in, skins and all. We use every part as best we can, so there's little waste, and again, it's saving us money too. Once all of that is added to our pot, we're going to take anywhere between 3 to 4 quarts of water. So it's about a gallon of water, or kind of whatever's going to fit inside of your stock pot or your Dutch oven, or the largest pot that you have that you can use to make the stock in. Once that's all in, you're going to throw it on the stove at a medium heat. We've got a gas stove, so we're going to use our medium function, but use whatever you've got at home. If it's an electric, if it's an induction, if it's gas, it all works the same. Find your medium and get that going. Once it comes up to a simmer, which is a small rolling bubble, then we're going to start to see some foam start to come up to the top. That is the impurities out of the bones that we're going to start to skim off. That is stuff that we don't want in our stock. So we're going to take a spoon or a ladle and just start to skim those off the top. just gently scraping it off and throwing it into a bowl or your sink so you can wash it down the sink. And you're also gonna see some clear fat floating around on the top too. It's gonna look like an oil slick. That's the fat off the skin and under the skin of the chicken bones itself. We're gonna wanna skim that off too. Now, that's gonna simmer for anywhere between 2 and 4 hours. You'll see some chefs go as long as 12 or 24 hours. That's totally fine too, but we almost never have that kind of time at home. It is also a labor of love. That's a lot of work to maintain that overnight, and it's not necessary in this point. So because we're only gonna make about a gallon, which is 4 quarts of chicken stock, we only need a couple of hours. Now, if you don't have a ton of time at home to do this, and you still wanna do it because you've got your bones from breaking down the chicken like we showed you last video, or maybe you had a rotisserie chicken or some takeout that you were like, hey, you know what? I've got some bones from that left over. You can use those too. We do that at home. If we buy a rotisserie chicken because we're super busy, we're not gonna waste that. We're gonna use that as well. Same way. You don't have to roast them because they're already roasted, but we're gonna use that as well. If you don't have 2 to 4 hours of time at home to do that, you can do it in about an hour. Now, it's not gonna be the richest stock, it's not gonna be the most flavorful, and those bones are gonna have a lot more to give you. However, it'll still be serviceable. It'll still taste like chicken. It's still healthier than the stuff you're gonna find in the store. There's gonna be no preservatives or anything in it. And you're gonna have some sense of pride in, hey, I did this. I made that happen. And you know what? I know that it's better for my family, and at the end of the day, it is cheaper. All right, so once the stock has been simmered gently for anywhere between 2 and 4 hours, we're gonna move to the sink to make sure that we don't make too much of a mess. We'll need what's called a spider or a strainer of some sort. Slotted spoon will work just fine. You can also use tongs if you don't have any of those types of things. Then I'm using a colander. You can use any type of bowl that's just gonna be for landing zone or LZ for your bones and all of the different bits and pieces, the mirepoix and the aromatics that we put in to the stock. This is about what you're looking like here. You can see how everything's kind of reduced down. You can see all the lines here where everything's, again, reduced down by a couple of cups from the liquid. You can see things kind of darkened up, but the stock itself is relatively clear. So we're going to take and just kind of try to gently pick out everything. Now I've let this sit for about 20-30 minutes or so that way it's not ripping hot. Also, my hands are quite used to hot things. They're in the industry called asbestos hands, so they're kind of a little bit dead, but they're also a little bit used to really, really hot stuff. So we're going to fish out all the bones, all the aromatics, all the mirepoix, celery, onions, and carrots. Trying our best to fish most of it out here. We don't want to waste any if we can help it. And then once you got all those out, I let all of the leavings here sit and cool down before I put them in the trash can. I've made the mistake before of putting them in too hot, and I'll melt a hole right into the bag and have wet, hot trash everywhere. Not what we want. So strain that out as best we can. Okay. Now I reduced mine for the maximum 4 hours, so that's going to change your yield. If you only reduce and simmer for about 2 hours, you'll have maybe about a cup's worth of loss on your yield, so you'll be just under about a gallon. So we put a gallon of water in. I reduced down more for flavor because I want all of that extra goodness, the richness, all the different collagen as well. I have less yield on the stock afterwards, but it's a richer stock. So once we're done there, we're going to move into pouring it off into our quart containers or our glass jars or whatever it is that you'd like to save your stock in. In this case, we're going to freeze our stock. We're going to pour it off into some mason jars or some ball jars, get it cool, and then put a lid on it and put it in our freezer. And we're going to use it in all sorts of other videos after this. You can use it immediately if you want. You can make soup right in this if you care for it, or you can save it in your refrigerator for about a week, about 7-ish days, as long as you keep it cold. It'll last perfectly fine that way. We find that freezing it helps keep it for about a year without any flavor loss, and it's a great way just to pull it out, thaw it for whatever it is that I'm going to use it for, and move forward from there. So I also am going to take, because my spider over there has big holes in it versus a slotted spoon, I'm going to take a small mesh sieve. I'm going to put it on a 4-cup measuring cup over here. And again, I'm doing this in the sink, so that way if there's any dribbles, any spills or anything like that, it's not going to be a problem. You can kind of see down here all the thyme leaves floating in there. It's fine to leave them in if you want. I typically will get them out so that way it doesn't muddy up my next product. And that's that. Simple as that. Just a couple hours of time, a couple hours of work, like $10 to $12 worth of ingredients. You have a whole chicken's worth of meals, probably 4 or 5 meals worth for 2 people. And then you'll have anywhere between half a gallon to a gallon full of stock left over. You can see how rich and colorful it is, how dark the brown is, and you can kind of see as we pour it off into the ball jars just how delicious it looks. And I wish you could smell it right now, because it is pretty fantastic in here. So when we were getting ready for this video, Xander and I did a bit of quick math to make sure that it was indeed cheaper to make your own chicken stock versus buying it in the store. Now, we're not against buying chicken stock in the store. Xander and I do that at home. It's the convenient thing to do. It's quick, and sometimes we just don't have time to do this whole process. But it is indeed, based on our store locally, just a couple of bucks cheaper. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a whole lot. A couple of bucks, you're like thinking, you know what, is it really worth all that extra time? But a couple of dollars every time you do this. You get about 3 to 4 quarts of chicken stock at the end of it. And that is saved money. And right now, every penny counts for us. And I think it does for you too. So based on what we could find at our store, it's about 12 bucks. For regular brand, your big major brands of chicken stock at that same store, it comes out to be about between 13 and 15 bucks. So it is truly cheaper to do it. Plus there's some benefit here too that we don't talk about, is when you have a whole chicken that you bought for 8 bucks at the store, and you know how to use your skills using your butcher's knife to cut that chicken apart, you now have 2 chicken breasts, 2 chicken thighs, 2 chicken legs, some wings, some chicken tenders. That's a lot of different meals that you can make with that. And if you stick around, like and subscribe, we're gonna show you exactly how to use all those rest of those parts too. This is the first base level knowledge that we get to learn in culinary school, and that's what we want to do for you too. We kind of create that library of skills and talents. So when you have these things at home and you think, you know what, I want to take care of my family better, I want to do things cheaper, I want to make things taste better, and I want to learn a new skill, that's what we're here for. So thank you all for those that stuck around to the end here to find out the answer to that question that we posed at the beginning. We really appreciate you liking and subscribing. We also appreciate you giving us a comment, telling us what you want to know, what you want to learn, what you want to see in the next videos. We want to build a community here of like-minded people that are doing the same thing. We want you in our kitchens, and we want to be in your kitchens with you. Thanks again for sticking around. There's the recipe for you to screen grab, and we hope that you find joy in doing the same thing that we just did here today. So thanks again. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.